Good morning, Kern County. I'm Edward S. Robinson, founder and CEO of the Kern County Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the inaugural episode of the KCVCC SITREP. In the military, a situation report or SITREP is how we assess the battlefield to make strategic decisions. In the civilian world, we call this environmental scanning. As a social worker and a chamber president, my job is to look at the landscape of our community, the economic shifts, the political changes, and the social challenges, and ask one question: how do we build capacity? Today, we aren't just reading headlines, we're analyzing them through the lens of asset preservation. Whether it's the proposed sales tax in Shafter, the leadership changes at the Board of Supervisors, or the mental health of our veterans, everything comes down to protecting our most valuable asset, our people. Let's get to work. First, let's talk about Shafter. The city is currently exploring a sales tax increase estimated at about $1 per day, per household. Nobody really likes paying more taxes, but as a business leader and community advocate, we have to look at the macro level. Now, in social work, we use this framework called PAIN. It's an acronym for participation, accountability, non-discrimination, and equity. When we look at a tax proposal, we have to ask, is this equitable? Shafter is currently operating at the standard 7.25% rate. The city argues this increase will capture revenue from people just passing through rather than just burdening the residents. Now, from an economic development standpoint, if Shafter wants to attract veteran-owned businesses, they need infrastructure. But from a social equity standpoint, we also got to ensure that $1 a day don't break the bank for low-income families. This is where participation comes in. If you live in Shafter, you need to be at the council meetings. Policy isn't something that happens to you, it's something that you should participate in. Now, moving to the county level, we have a new chairman of the Board of Supervisors, Kern County Board of Supervisors for 2026. His name is Philip Peters from District 1. He's focusing on financial stability and public safety. We got to address the elephant in the room regarding former supervisor Zach Scrivner. There's reports of a motion filed for mental health diversion in his case regarding child abuse and weapons charges. Now, I'm going to put on my MSW hat for a moment because we often talk about the person and environment perspective. And this means that we look at an individual not in isolation, but in the context of their entire environment. Understanding the context, though, doesn't mean erasing accountability. You know what I'm saying? There's tension here between mental health treatment, which I advocate for daily, and public justice. Dr. Jasmine Baines has called this potential diversion, as she says, Epstein loophole. We gotta understand also that leadership requires a higher standard of conduct. True asset preservation means protecting the most vulnerable among us. So it'll be interesting that we watch this. Now let's pivot to something solution-oriented. I recently spoke with Jack Garcia from Comrades and Canopies. And if you don't know him or that organization, what they do is they take veterans skydiving to help them manage their PTSD. You might ask me, Edward, I'll say, huh? And you'll say, why is jumping out of a plane gonna help a person with PTSD and anxiety? Here's the science, and it's all about neuroplasticity. Our brains are wired to react to stress, and for a combat veteran, the brain is often stuck in a fight or flight loop. When you skydive, you engage in a biological reset to reset your psychological domain, and this can really help recalibrate your nervous system. And it's really the same principle behind the new Mind Divers Clinic here in Bakersfield, which we just helped cut the ribbon for. They're using hyperbaric treatments and therapy to treat TBI and PTSD. And if you're a veteran struggling today, know that therapy doesn't always look like sitting on the couch. Sometimes it looks like putting on a parachute. I want to close today with a moment of history because Navraj Rai, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, was just sworn in as the first Sikh judge pro tem in Kern County history. You might ask, why does this matter? It's because representation is a form of capacity building. When a son of an immigrant who saw his parents face foreclosure rises to the bench to ensure justice for others, That is the American dream. It validates the sacrifice of every veteran that they made to protect our Constitution. If you're a veteran, a business owner, or just a community member who wants to see Kern County thrive, join us. The Kern County Veterans Chamber of Commerce is here to bridge the gap between resources and the people who need them. I'm Edward Robinson, call sign Black Eagle, stay mission ready. I'll see you next week.